Whose hat is that?
This is mine. That's the famous brown hat. That's
This
what I
is-
did all those different things with, different characters. Deadeye, you know. And the crooked politician, San Fernando Red. Always like him, he says, my friends, and you are my friends. Don't say you're not my friends because nobody is going to tell me who my friends are. I want you to know this is going to be a clean campaign. I'm not going to throw mud at my opponent because he's a fine man. Fine man. His wife, mighty fine woman. Mighty fine. What he sees in that dame he's running around with, I'll never know. Then I turn it upside down. It's Junior, you know. Junior, the mean little kid. He says, Junior, you pulling that cat's tail? No, I'm not pulling the cat's tail. I hold it on. He's doing the pulling.
Where did you develop these characters from? Were these people you knew or think? Did you ever see a mean little kid that you based it on?
Well, see, my father died before I was born. And I went into show business when I was 10 years old. The people
Playing
say,
a guitar at a medicine show?
Yeah, the medicine show. Now, for the benefit of those that don't know what a medicine show was, it was a platform out in an open field. And we used to give a free show, and they would sell their products, see?
Right.
They call it television now. Yeah, a medicine show. And I never had a childhood. See?
No, you were
so I
working
think
really young.
basically what I did was create Junior, and I lived my childhood. I think that's why my little boy only lived 10 years. I saw my childhood through his eyes, you know? Yeah. And so then on my television show, they'd bring political jokes in. I said, Clem can't do political jokes.
Clem Cadillopper.
So I made up San Fernando Red. And with Freddie the Freeloader, you know, he said, a nice cigar. I didn't do so well this morning. It was raining when I got up, you know. He said, nowadays, when you find a good cigar, you can't find a place to smoke it, you know.
You know, I got to tell you who my favorites were.
Gertrude and Heathcliff. Yeah.
Gertrude and Heathcliff. Now, where did they come from? Where'd that idea come from?
I was down at the beach, Santa Monica, and I saw these birds standing there. They were looking at me. So I said, Aesop is right. Aesop's right. These things, the animals talk to each other, you know? Like the bear said to the skunk, where do you get this stuff? Animals talk to each other. These two seagulls. He says, you're always worrying about things. He says, I know. He says, I know. Right now I'm worried about Willie the whale. He says, why? That's the way they talk. Why? He says he fell in love with a submarine. Now, every time they fire a torpedo, he hands out cigars.
You do, I think it's 150 different characters in your repertoire?
No, I guess over the years I've done that quite a few, not quite that many.
Who is the most popular? Who's the one they love the most?
Well, you know, they still get fan mail.
No.
After 20 years, at Christmas time, Freddie the Freeloader, about a couple of years ago, received 5 Christmas cards, and one card had $2 in it, one had $5 in it, and they says, we know that you're not on television anymore, and we want you to have a nice Christmas. So I answered back, asked Freddie, I said, Red takes good care of me. I work on the ranch, and he takes good care of me and stuff. And you were very kind to send me the money, and I would like to have one of Red's reproductions, you know. Now, don't send me letters.
This year he'll get 20,000 is what he'll get.
Yeah. So he said, and then I'd send them back the little thing. And then Clem gets letters all the time. Clem, yeah. He says,
Clem Cadillopper.
She's You know that Johnny Carson, that one of the first divorces he got was because of Clem Cadillopper?
No.
He used to write for me. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, Johnny wrote for Johnny had a program that ran for 5 minutes in the morning in Los Angeles. And I see this kid on television. He's only on for 5 minutes. So I go down to the station. He's on about 6:30 in the morning. Eh? So I go down and I says, I'll be your guest star. I was his first guest star he ever had, see? So I'm sitting there, and he's got 5 minutes, and he ignores me. See? All the time, and he does his commercial for butternut coffee. Worst coffee you ever taken in your life. So the next day I go down again, and I says, oh, we'll keep this going all week long. So the next day he goes down, he turns around, he looks at me, and he says, but he doesn't say anything, see? People know who I am because I'm already on television and stuff. So then the third day, he says, we got a guest star today. What was your name? I says, Red Skelton. He says, a likely story. And then he went into the commercial, and that was it. So this went all week long. And on Friday, when it came on, I was sitting there where he sat, and I had him tied up in a string, of course.
Oh, that's great.
So, and then when he lost his sponsor because I did the commercial. And I told him what I thought of the coffee. I said, I went to this restaurant the other day, and the butter was so strong it walked all over and said hello to the coffee, and the coffee was too weak to answer. So then he used to write for me. So he'd write these Gertrude and Heathcliff stories, and he'd sit at his desk, and he'd go, doo 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 doo, and she'd come in and see him. She thought he was losing his mind.
Is this a true story?
This is a true story. I was on with Johnny a couple of times, and he ran that first thing. He had a kinescope of it. See?
You handsome devil. We're going to take a commercial break, and I'm not telling you who the sponsor is, and we'll be back right after this.
They got us. Don't go away. They got a sponsor.